guys, how's it going? So, let's, while the video is playing in the background, I'm going to be talking about several things that is going to be happening during this race and this race weekend. This is the final, first final of the grand final for HKKU. We're starting P9. Most of the day has gone well. Qualifying went great. Get to the first final here, and have a good starting spot at the top of the field. Going off the green, so scrubbing our tires, right? Well, sometimes we all get the moments of, okay, this is the last race of the season. Let's go out, let's do our best. Let's put 150% on the line, right? However, sometimes race etiquette and understanding that, one, we got it into this because it's for fun mainly, and then we come out and do what we're ready to do at the end of this lap, So, so let's watch it together, shall we? And we're off. Green flag, green. I had a decent start. Oh look, there's Arho, number 8, card 8, already 3 wide. That can't end good. So I'm robbing down middle 3. Thanks Arho for taking away my line and obviously being super aggressive on lap 1, turn 1, turns 2, 3, and 4. No one else is racing though, but okay, whatever, no harm, no foul, right? So let's continue on, go on here, slide in right behind here, get some racing done, get a little bump, and go on. Got a little bump back. Hey, that's fine. Let's go. So I've already raced once this weekend. I raced on Saturday in a higher series. So I obviously know the card and know what the card can do. And should be able to do, especially at lower speeds, So I am more aggressive in my throttle positions and my braking points because, again, this car is slower than what I'm used to driving. So I'm a lot more familiar with the track, which is not a problem, Again, having fun, and these guys are also have a right to race on the track. So I have a good cart, decent cart, probably above average, which is great. So it gives me something to run with. So right now I'm just hanging out and seeing how the race is going to go. Tire's still a little cold, sliding a little bit. But just continuously on and go. I mean, again, the final one is 14 laps, and overall, it was a pretty good start to the race. Like everybody was minding their P's and Q's, and everybody, wasn't generally being super aggressive, minus Arho, and car 8 there. But it is what it is. He wanted to get to the front, and he does have a right to race. And no one's going to take that away from anybody because everybody has a right to race. It's just maybe not on lap 1. Maybe just save it for a bit more when it strings out because, he's super quick anyways. So, nonetheless, so let's just continue on here. Now, put our head down and let's just continue. Yeah, I kind of mix the apex of the corner because again, I'm pushing a bit harder than everybody else is. Again, because of my experience the day before, I can change, but okay, maybe I need to realign that corner and be a little less sensitive on throttle, but for the most part, I'm trying to not move around and I'm trying to tell the guy behind me to work together, not to pass me or anything, let's work together, let's catch the next group, and then, we'll work from there. Because if he passes me, he essentially just eliminates any chance that he has to catch. Again, hand out to signal him, let's go forward, let's catch the next guy. Much tighter through that corner this time and much cleaner. So I'm getting a better run. Still a little slow getting out that corner. Maybe it's the gearing of my car. I know it's not me because I've lost tons of weight since the beginning of my campaign here. And right now, I feel as if this is just stagnant and this is okay. This is a good running position. I'm not really going to push it. I'm pushing, but I'm not going to over push and, really burn my stuff up. I'll pass and pounce when I need to. But I'm still there. I'm still seeing if they start battling, then we can pull back in. Much better exit, and I'm gaining maybe a centimeter at a time, and little by little coming. I'm losing a little bit because maybe he has more toe, and that would make sense because he's a lot closer to the guy in front of him. But still here, still minding my business. Still running pretty much flat out through those corners. And this is where it gets interesting. He makes a mistake here. I get a tremendous run coming. I'm just gonna go yoink. Yeah, I kind of overcook it. Yeah, I sorta maybe got tapped from the bag, but okay, cool, whatever. Let's just go for it. I didn't really miss the corner by that much. I still ran a normal line, and I still get a better exit than this guy. But I'm like, okay, just pull back in line and just toe down the front, just let's go. Hey, there's a cone in the middle of the track. That shouldn't be there. Don't know why he's checking. I already told him let's work together. Let's just keep moving forward, So I want you guys to please pay attention to this. I'm running my normal line, I'm entering my same space, and I get dumped. And let's watch that one more time, shall we? And I'm in the middle of the apex and I get dumped. Great. Fantastic. Okay, hold the brake and be in a very vulnerable spot. So because of these carts, and I was going to turn and go to the grass, I was like, okay, get out the racing line, because this is a very fun place to be in. So trying to get back going, and let's just say my race is pretty much over at this point. Because let's be realistic. I passed one guy in this guy right here, and the next few laps, and the rest of the footage is sped up. Obviously, because there's little to no point to really comment on this, but pretty much just run the rest of the laps by myself, but essentially run down the rest of the field that's in front of me, and I'm catching them at a good rate, considering I have a above average cart and I'm driving angry. I'm seething inside of my helmet, and this is all I'm thinking about. All I'm thinking about right now is asking the guy why. Why would he just dump me in the middle of turn one? Was he mad about me boxing him out a little bit about, that after he messed up? I don't know. I never really got an answer. So, I mean, if I had more laps, I would have probably passed a lot more people. But hey, let's check her. We finished P21. But hey, let's hope we can do better than that. But hey, there's a reverse grid order, so I would start back in the front again, trying to get out of the car. The car's still on. I'm a little mad under the helmet still, and you can tell that I am, because I'm just gonna power walk. Honestly, why would you just walk off and not say, hey, I'm sorry, whatnot about this? So right here on pit road, I have to make a decision. What am I going to do? Am I going to confront the guy, get super angry, get in his face, and cause a scene? Or am I going to calm down and go to the race official and talk and communicate my frustrations? And eventually I decide to talk to them and communicate my feelings, show them my footage, show them what happened. Eventually he talked to the guy who spun me, and the penalty was to start behind me. But because of reverse grid order, however, he gets to start right in front of me. How fun. And at this point of the day, I've been practically just like, okay, whatever. He's then obviously got his penalty. I'm not gonna do anything, because if I retaliate in any shape or form, I might be. But my honest opinion, this is just my opinion, he should have been DQ'd. You don't just jack up someone in the middle of the apex of the fastest corner on the circuit and then get out scot-free. Because reverse grid order, you get to start near the front. It wasn't like, oh, nothing mattered. If it mattered, if you should have gotten DQ from both events, and then that way it would have set a precedent that you don't intentionally wreck people. You don't take a person out. Maybe it was an accident. I don't know. I didn't see behind me, because again, my head doesn't turn around 180 degrees. I don't have a camera facing backwards. Only he knows what was going on. Maybe he has camera footage, I don't know. But cool. So we're gonna start the second final, and I'm gonna just race until I can't race no more. This final, my camera is about dead. I know it's about dead, and I didn't change the battery out because, again, I wasn't really in the mood. I was still calming down from the incident earlier, and but this race was full out chaos, even from the start of the green flag, which is understandable. It's the last race, exactly last race of the season, So, we all go into turn one. I'm getting shoved from behind. I'm pushing a guy whose car is very slow. I'm getting knocked out of the way. I barely make the corner. Like, okay, so we're back to single file. I know I'm single file because, again, I check my left corner and guy jumps in and bam, bam. And I get shoved so far off the track that I have to basically slow down and rejoin safely, or I might get a penalty for rejoining unsafe. It was my corner. One guy flew in from like 10 spots back. Okay, and then I get shoved off the track. I'm like, okay, so, at this point, I'm like, I see that they want to just be like this. I just don't get it. I mean, yeah, it's the last race, but like, jeez. So I'm like, I'm trying to run my race. I get ran off the track there, even though that's gonna give them just a bump, just say, hey, don't like that, guy spins there. Again, I'm like, okay, I have plenty of time to come back from this because, again, it's the last race and it's just happened really early. So cool, I can drive back through this mess, so let's see what I can do. Oh, nope, can't do that because probably slowing down for a spinning driver, I get just right into the back too. I mean, again, maybe, it was my fault, I should have just kept going, but again, I'm not going to plow through people, just, it's not who I am, so. For these last 4 minutes, this is just what was left of my camera footage or my camera battery, and, I'm thinking to myself inside my home at this moment, like, this isn't fun, it becomes a point to where when you're having fun, you enjoy the moments, but you're not really enjoying the moment because, like, I get intentionally taken out in the first final. I get ping-ponged around in the second final, and then I get shoved off the track, and like, it's just not fun. Like, I get it, it's a race, everyone should be racing, but there's proper etiquette to take place here. Like, you just don't come from like 5 cart minutes back and hope the guy in front of you sees you. You don't, obviously. And obviously everyone has their own definition of racing etiquette and whatnot. Again, I am probably also guilty of, the entire points of being overly aggressive at points. But, even in this race, after this, I knew I was a bit more aggressive because I've had enough of being bullied. So I was going to just give back what everyone else gave me, and like, I wasn't egregious about it. I gave them a few bumps to say, hey, I'm here, move. Hey, I'm here, move. Like, I wasn't playing with my moves at this point. I was moving them before they can just cost me more time. I'm just giving back the receipts that they gave me. But again, I don't flat out wreck people. I don't flat out dump. I don't come back from like 5 cart lanes and, shove people away, shove people out of the line that, according to some people, it's their corner. But, at the end of the day, we all have a right to race, and I'm going to race my heart out. And they have the right to race their hearts out as well. I don't disagree with that. What I do disagree with is how sometimes people run if they want to run how they want to run, that's fine. But they need to be able to accept what happens when they get it back to them. So, at the end of the day, you can't always have a good race. You can't always have a good cart. I spent 7 months learning that. I spent 7 months defining myself, not just by what my weight loss, but also by understanding that to truly accomplish something, you have fun. Small victories or even big accomplishments are a journey and success along the path of life. So again, am I happy to run this race? Absolutely. I love running this race. I love running with these guys, and I love, mixing it up with them. So, again, should they race better? Of course. Everybody races differently. So at the end of the day, there are a few people that are going to understand that when it's their turn, and hopefully, they enjoy that. But anyways, guys, it's been a little bit of a rant for this one, but overall, good race. See you on the next one.